Hi guys, welcome back to your favorite channel. Today we are tackling a skill that's both challenging and fun: how to argue or debate confidently in English.
Debating can feel tricky, especially if English isn't your first language. So, let me ask you, are you good at debating? But more importantly, could you do it in English?
That's a great question, and it makes me think, why is debating even important for language learners?
I've got a story about this. A friend of mine from Delhi told me how frustrated he feels at work. He's amazing at his job, but because English isn't his first language, he struggles to debate or defend his ideas in meetings.
Yeah, that's tough. And it's not just about work. Studies show that people who are good at debating tend to succeed more in general. It's a really valuable skill.
So today, we're going to share tips and phrases to help you argue or debate confidently in English. And we've got a free PDF with everything we cover in this episode. You'll find it in the comments. Let's get started.
Alright, let's talk about the basics of arguing in English. People who are good at expressing or debating often use the PrEP method. Have you heard of it?
I think I have, but remind me, what's it about?
Sure. PrEP stands for point, reason, example, and point again. It's a really simple way to structure your argument clearly.
Okay, sounds useful. So, how do you use it?
First, you start with your point, what you believe. For example, I think recycling should be mandatory. That's your main idea.
Got it. And then?
Next, you give your reason, why you believe that. Like, because it reduces waste and helps the environment. This explains your point.
Makes sense. What about the E?
E is for example. You back up your reason with evidence. For instance, in cities like San Francisco, recycling programs, you give your reason, why you believe that. Like, because it reduces waste and helps the environment. This explains your point.
I see. So you're showing proof to make your point convincing.
Exactly. And finally, you go back to your point to wrap it up. Like, that's why I believe recycling should be mandatory. It reinforces your main idea.
Wow, that's so clear and organized. Why do you think this method is helpful for English learners?
It helps you stay focused and sound confident, even if you are nervous. Plus, it's easy to remember.
Yeah, and I can see how it keeps your thoughts from getting all jumbled up. But I also think it's necessary to learn some key expressions for arguing in English. Can we start with polite and professional ones?
Sure. Politeness is super important, especially in formal situations. Instead of sounding too direct, you can say things like I see your point, but or I'd like to add that.
Oh, those are good. They sound respectful but still let you share your view. Any others?
Another one is, could we consider another perspective? Or what if we approached it this way? These
Nice. Okay. What about backing your arguments? How do you make them stronger?
You'll want to support your ideas with facts or examples. Try phrases like according to recent studies or for instance, in a similar situation. These make your argument more credible.
So, like if I were debating, I might say, research shows that hybrid work increases productivity by 20%. Is that what you mean?
Exactly. It's all about giving proof to support your point. Another one is, let me give you an example of why this works. That signals you are about to provide evidence.
Got it. But what about when someone challenges your argument? How do you handle counterarguments without losing your cool?
Great question. First, acknowledge their point. You can say, that's a valid perspective, but or I understand your concern. However, this shows you are listening, not just dismissing them.
Then, follow up with your stance. Like, even so, the data still supports, or but I believe this approach works better because. And if you need time to think, you can always say, let me think about it. It gives you a little breathing room.
That's a good tip. Handling counterarguments calmly really does make you sound confident.
Totally. It's about balancing respect and standing firm.
Now, let's quickly go over some of the vocabulary we used. Mandatory, something that's required or must be done. For example, wearing seat belts is mandatory in most countries. Perspective, the way you see or understand something. For example, from my perspective, working remotely is more productive. Handle, to deal with something. For instance, she handled the customer's complaint very professionally. Counterargument, an argument that goes against what you are saying. For example, the counterargument to this policy is that it's too expensive to implement.
All right, guys. Before we wrap up, we just want to let you know, the ability to debate confidently in English isn't just about winning arguments. It helps you express your ideas clearly, build credibility, and stand out in professional and social settings.
Think about it, whether you are in a meeting, giving a presentation, or even having a friendly discussion, strong debating skills can really set you apart.
True. It's not just about what you say, but how you say it. Debating helps you think critically, respond under pressure, and communicate with confidence, all of which are key to success.
And we'd love to hear from you. If you have a topic you'd like us to cover next, share your ideas in the comments.
Yes, we're always excited to hear your feedback. Let us know which tips you found helpful, or how you've been practicing.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, every debate you practice is a step closer to mastering English.
That's right. Keep practicing, stay confident, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.